Hey guys, so today I'm going to recreate the look Maria Menounos. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce her name, but she wore this look to the Academy Awards in this year, 2014. So I'm going to recreate her look. So to begin with, I'm going to take my MAC Strobe Cream, and this is just going to work as a base for my foundation and provide a bit of luminosity for my skin. Really brighten it up a bit. So just rubbing up my hands. To begin with, I'm going to take my orange corrector from my Graftobian palette. If you don't know much about correctors, I do have a video on how to correct using correctors, and I'm just going to take a bit of that orange under my eyes. Today I'm using the Chanel Vitalumiere in number 40, Beige. I'm just going to take a pump of that onto the back of my hand. I'm also taking my beauty blender, just a moistened beauty blender, and I'm just going to press this all over my face. This is quite a beautiful, hydrating, glowy foundation. However, if you do have oily skin, I would suggest choosing a different foundation to this one, as obviously you're going to want to avoid anything that's too glowy or sort of shiny. But for me, I don't have oily skin, so it's not bad at all. And it's quite a beautiful foundation. It is probably a little bit tanned for me at the moment. I'm a little bit pale and I have been a little bit sick, so please excuse my croaky voice. So today for my brows, I'm taking my spiked brow pencil from MAC. Just going to run that through the brows. Sorry guys, I just thought I should zoom in so you can see a bit clearly, a bit more clearly. If you do need a bit of help with your brows, I will link my brow tutorial below. So just give your brows a brush through if they're looking a little bit intense. Okay, now that our brows are done, I'm just going to take my MAC Paint Pot in Constructivist, and I'm just going to take that on a flat shader brush all over my lid, and this is going to be a base for our bronze smoky eye. I'm just going to blend that paint pot out with my fluffy blending brush. And then I'm going to go in and apply a second layer of that colour just to add a bit of intensity. Like that, and then blend again. Now this is a really quick and simple, easy look that you can sort of cater to what you're doing. You could wear this out during the day if you just go with the eyeshadows and add a bit of mascara, maybe a little bit of eyeliner, and then you can sort of amp up the intensity for a night out. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of that colour on our flat shader brush just under the eye. Pick up a little bit more if you need. Now this paint pot's going to provide a really good base for our other eyeshadows. We're then going to take a little bit of MAC Mulch on a flat shader brush. This one is from Hakuhodo. So just load up your brush. Tap it off so we don't get any fallout on our cheeks. Just going to press it on top of that paint pot. And that's a really beautiful shadow pressed over the top of the Constructivist Paint Pot. Also take a little bit of that colour underneath the eye. You don't have to use MAC shadows. You can take any bronze, beautiful sort of deep bronze brown colour that you might have. And if you need to, you can then take your blending brush from before and just blend the edge. So we're taking this bronze colour here. Just going to press that in the centre of the lid. I'm going to use the same flat shader brush. This will add a little bit of dimension to the eye. Finally, we're going to take a dark brown shadow along the lash line and in the outer V there and along the bottom lash line. You can use the same brush if you like, or you can change to another. I'm just going to use the same brush. Just to add a bit of definition. And really smoke it out. And from your Naked palette, take Buck on the same fluffy brush from before, and we're just going to blend that just a little bit through the crease, just to add a transitional colour and sort of blend it out a little bit so that it's not so harsh. And the same along the lash line. We're now going to take a combination of a black and a brown eyeliner. Here I have Scandaleyes Waterproof Kohl Kajal by Rimmel in black, and then I also have Teddy by MAC, which is sort of a dark brown. I'm going to line the waterline with my Teddy. And also tight line the top eyeline. I'm then going to take the same Teddy pencil just really close to the lash line along the lashes. And onto the top of the outer lash line there. And then I'm going to take the same brush that we applied our paint pot with and just blend that top lash line. And blend the bottom lash line. We're now going to take our black and we're just going to take it along the bottom lash line on the outside and the top lash line on the outside. And using that same brush, we're going to blend them out. And then just using our flat shader brush from earlier, I'm just going to blend the edge. Just slightly. So you don't have to use the Teddy along the lash line. If you only have one black eyeliner, you can use that both in your waterline and around, rim around your eyes. It's really up to you and whether or not that you have the products. But I find that although it's quite dark, the Teddy, it's a little bit more soft and not as harsh as black. So today I'm using a really tiny, I'm not sure if you can see that, angle brush. And I used it the other day for eyeliner the first time and I really loved it because it's so small. It's a cross between an angle brush and a fine liner brush, and I find that if you want to do a really tiny flick, this is really helpful for that. So I'm just using my MAC Blacktrack gel liner or Fluidline and my little angle brush, and I'm just going to take that along the lash line. I'm not going to wing it out too far, just a little bit to elevate the eye, but not an extensive wing liner. I do have a wing liner tutorial, so if you need a little assistance with that, I will link it below for you. We're now going to curl our lashes in preparation to apply some false lashes. So just take any lash curls you have. The Colossal Volume Express by Maybelline is a mascara that I'm using. And just coat your lashes. So this look is all about the eyes and the hair. So I'm going to add some lashes, and then there isn't a whole lot to do to the skin. We just want to perfect the skin, add a bit of contouring and a nude lip, and then we're ready to go. So today I'm using the 107 Lashes by Ardell, and I'm then using my Duo lash adhesive. This might look a little bit funny, but with lashes that have a full black seam, I like to wrap them around something that sort of gives them more of a round curved shape, so that when you apply them they sit on the round curved shape of your eye a lot better. So that's something to try at home if you sort of struggle with lashes that won't sit where you ask them to. So I'm just going through and squeezing my own lash with the false lash with my tweezers to make them sort of sit closer together. So we're going to move on with the rest of the skin. I'm taking a little bit of my Prolongwear concealer in NC20, and I'm going to put that on the pointed end of my beauty blender. I'm just going to add in sort of a highlight as well as concealment. So bring that all the way out, and we're just going to keep pressing and pressing a little bit along the nose and along the chin. And then we're just going to really press it in. And that should create a really beautiful natural highlight. Well, not really natural, but very blended. I'm going to do a little bit of a cream contour as well as a powder contour. So I'm taking a little bit of a really dark Graftobian foundation. So this is a Glamour Creme in Hazelnut. Just going to pick up a tiny bit of that on the end of my tweezers because it's so pigmented, and put it on the back of my hand. I'm then going to take a small, I'm not sure what you'd call that, an angled face brush, but it's very small, and I'm just going to pick up a little bit of product, super pigmented. I'm going to map in my contour. A little bit down the sides of my nose. And that really slims the nose. I just have a buffing brush, a buffing foundation brush, and I'm just going to buff that out gently so that there's still a shadow there. For people with the same shape face as me, very square, I'm going to take a little bit of that dark colour just on the edge of my chin, like that, so that it really slims that jaw. I'm going to take that same buffing brush and just buff it out. We're now going to powder the skin. Today I'm using Chanel Vitalumiere powder. So I'm just going to take the Chanel Vitalumiere powder on a small fluffy brush and just set the skin. It's important to really set the skin under the eye area there, so that we don't get any transfer of that black gel or black eyeliner or the Teddy pencil. Just set everything into place. This will also add a tiny bit of coverage, but we're only adding it in light layers. The Dignity highlighter by FaceStockholm, which is a cream highlight. Just going to press that onto my finger like that, and just press it along the top of my cheekbone there. A little bit down the middle of the nose there. Next, I'm taking my Sleek Contour Kit. This one is in medium, and I'm taking that on the same fluffy brush that I used before. I'm just going to squeeze it like this, pick up a tiny bit because it is very pigmented, and tap it off a little bit. Just layer over where we used the product, where we added our contour before. But just be very gentle and very light-handed and add more as you go, because we want it to look believable and beautiful rather than really heavy and full on. We're now going to take that same fluffy brush that we used earlier, and we're going to pick up a little bit of Buck from our Naked palette, just a tiny bit, and I'm just going to blend that under the eye area so that it's not so stark. Today I'm using an LY24B, which is a Louise Young liner brush, just to line that top lash line over the false lash seam, and just the same gel liner that we used earlier. I'm going to be using the Peachstock, which is this one here, just as a nude lip colour. So I'm just using a Real Techniques detailer brush to apply that product. And finally, I know that she's not really wearing a massive amount of blush in the photos, but I'm just going to take a little bit of pink. This is by Terry Blush in Erotic Pink number 2. I'm just going to take the tiniest amount just to add sort of in a bit more of a cheek rather than nothing. Although it's not massively obvious, it just makes us look more balanced. So finally, to finish the look, I'm using my Kryolan High Gloss in Toffee, just over the top. Smells delicious. So that's all for today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. If you wanted to change it up a bit, you could do it probably without the lashes and wear something a little bit more wispy. And you could put in a bit of a pink lip if you wanted to, add a bit of colour. But this is how she wore it to the Oscars, so I wanted to recreate it like that. And if you have any questions or anything, just leave a comment below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!